this is Martha Owen, standing in our new folk school dye garden. We want to do a little piece to remind you that Catherine Ellis is doing a webinar on July the 14th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you want to tune into that webinar, you must register. So go to the folk school website and look for her beautiful smiling face, and you'll find the thing to click on to register. We also want to start off by including Donna Brown in this conversation. Donna is helping us with this dye garden project by giving lots of money to make it happen. And the third person we really want to thank is Mr. Muscle, Farmer Teddy. Can you turn around and make a picture of him? No. I'm not one that had time to make a dye garden, so luckily he wandered in, and this is it, starting to take shape. You can see the indigo marching right down the middle, and there's some cotton back there and various other things. But today what we were coming to talk about was yellow and marigolds, because I am a marigold aficionado, and we have this beautiful hedge here of yellow. And all the colors I have here started with the yellow. Okay, so we just thought for fun, you might be more interested in natural dyeing if you saw some of the color possibilities up close and personal. So right down here in this pot is a little bit of what I was doing today. If you want to see step by step, just go to Martha Owen Woolens on Facebook or on Instagram, and you'll see step by step pictures. But it was too much to bring it. So I took all these marigolds that I'd been collecting here, and I have a 14-gallon pot and 2 border collies and a hose, and we all made this dye pot. So to make the colors, I was aiming for 200 to 300%. So if I was doing 7 pounds of wool, then I was doing 14 to 21 pounds of marigolds, which is a sizable amount of marigolds. And then you have to find a pot to put them in, and I just couldn't bring that pot here today. I'm so sorry. But what I did bring was some of the liquid. And you can see it starts off being red. So this is just taking marigolds and cooking them for 15 to 20 minutes, and we end up with a bright red liquid. It was redder than that, but I've already had things dyeing in it. So one of the colors I got is down here. Here's yellow. That's marigolds, marigolds, marigolds. One of the first things you notice is you get different colors, this is marigolds too, according to what you put into the pot. So this is a fine wool, alpaca, and angora yarn, all from my animals except for the alpaca. That was the interloper that came in. This is from one of my sheep, and this was gray, and this was a Shetland. They all went into that yellow dye pot, and because this was a Romney, it got different color than this, which had the angora and the alpaca in it. This, which started off gray, got quite green, and this is what fleece looks like. And the reason I dye fleece is to do multicolored yarns. So this is hand spun, where I'm mixing and blending. Here's yellow here in this one, and I brought a little indigo because Teddy was harvesting indigo today. The other thing that I did was I took some of this yellow wool and I put iron in it. It's called ferrous sulfate, and it comes to us as a powder, but we can get it through soaking rusty nails in vinegar, and you add it to a yellow pot, and when you put the wool in, it turns green. So green is one of the hardest colors to get in the natural dye scene. One of the hardest. We live with green. I'm totally drunk with green right now. Green, 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 everywhere. But to get it in natural dyes is one of the hardest colors to get. So we can do yellow and then put iron in it. I showed you how I got green off of dyeing gray in a yellow dye pot. That's quite a surprise, right? The other thing we can do is we can change things up very dramatically. I love cochineal. So cochineal is an insect that comes from South America, feeds on prickly pear cactus. So first I had the yellow skein, and then I cooked it in a cochineal pot. You can see it down here on the fleece. So it started off yellow, and then it became red. So let's see, what else do we need to say? These pieces here, this is the first piece I made from my first hand spun when I first came to the John C. Campbell Folk School to learn to spin and to dye in 1978. And I learned to spin outside in open house. So when you're back at the school again, you can look for the open pavilion. We didn't have a nice studio. At this time we have a dedicated studio, and we have spinning wheels and water, and we can be inside. We don't have to be out with the sweat beads walking up and down our arms like they are doing right now. And I hope that you can see this is about the last piece I did. This is all from my sheep. I hope you see a slight improvement, maybe? I mean, they both have their charm, but this is about the last thing that I did. I follow in the footsteps of lots of wonderful dyers. There's a woman named Mary Frances Davidson that wrote The Dye Pot. She came to the John C. Campbell Folk School and learned natural dyeing, which set the tone, set the color for her whole life. We also were extremely well acquainted with Jim Lyles. Jim was from Knoxville, Tennessee, and he wrote The Art and Craft of Natural Dyeing. And now soon we'll have Catherine Ellis as our new friend that comes here and helps us understand making plants into colors. All right, see you soon.